Alrighty, we are in the third part review for episode 1 of season 3. We will cover the next 10-11 minutes and then we will wrap it up in the next video. So we almost there, halfway through episode 1. Once again, if you've been following along, thank you for your time. We should get started. We are at the 30.5-minute mark of episode 1 of season 3. We are at that scene when the Parker family and their friends are at the beach. They are playing a game. I don't even know the name of the game. If anyone can help me, I would appreciate it. Mr. Starling, he's still not confident in playing the game or any games that the others are playing. Ever since that dinner a few nights ago at the Parker house, especially when they asked him what the name of the author after Tom quoted a line from a book, and that failed Ralph really badly, and he got embarrassed, and Charlotte had to step in and tell the others the name of the author. The other game that they were playing with that the Heat game at the Parker house before dinner, that game too, he tried to reach his hand inside this hot bowl with fire coming out, and he failed that game as well. So he had enough share of embarrassing himself in front of the Parker family. He wanted to look good, not only for himself but for Charlotte.
I fear the peacock returns.
Oh, for pity's sake.
Here comes the Monroe's family casually walking alongside the beach, and Arthur is very annoyed. If you really pay close attention to Arthur's reaction, you might pick up on something that we haven't actually dived into yet for the past 3 seasons, and we will get back to that later on. But for now, he is annoyed at Harry for some reason. But on the front page cover, externally, he is annoyed at him for bothering Georgiana. Arthur is very protective of Georgiana, and she is his best friend besides Charlotte. So anytime a guy comes up to Georgiana for some attention or to get her to marry that particular guy, Arthur steps in and makes sure that he is a good guy, especially after what happened with Mr. Lockhart. And Georgiana, at the current moment, she's not interested in any men, so Arthur respects that. So he's very protective of Georgiana, and when it comes to the matters of her heart.
I thought I was quite clear that I have no interest.
Neither do I. Not in the least.
Charlotte, this is the first time she seeing this happen in front of her. I'm sure Georgiana would tell Charlotte what's going on, but maybe she hasn't told Charlotte just yet. So it intrigued Charlotte, and of course, her first thought would be, oh, another guy, single guy coming along the shore, probably trying to get Georgiana attention once again. That's the confirmation from Harry that he is totally not interested in Georgiana like that. She feels the same way for him, so they are on the same page.
But if you'll be good enough to pretend just for one moment that you find me extraordinarily amusing, I give you my word, I will leave you alone.
That's an interesting request that Harry just asked of Georgiana. She at first looked over to his mom and his sister, and it's nice that those two ladies gave enough space for Harry and Georgiana to have their own private conversation, so they wouldn't be able to eavesdrop on what they're actually saying to each other. Harry is doing this just for his mom, just to hopefully make his mom satisfied in that she would not bother him again after this encounter.
Do you know who that man is, Tom?
Georgiana gave him the grace to do what he requested of her. Hopefully he keeps his promise and to leave her alone for the rest of his life after this. Mary, she is that protective bonus mom of Georgiana, and she is watching out for her, and of course she doesn't want Georgiana to get hurt, but at the same time she is still hopeful that Georgiana will end up with a good man.
That, my dear, is the Duke of Buckinghamshire.
Lady Denham, Lady de Clermont, and now a duke. I had no idea you kept such rarefied company.
Ralph, buddy, welcome to Sanditon. He is still learning the ropes and ladders of the town. Charlotte does have an impressive fund list that she created ever since the beginning of season 1. She does know a lot of people in Sanditon, and most of them are very rich people, which is a whole different world than back in her hometown in Willenden. So that's why Ralph, like, wow, like, you meet these people that have money. It exceeded his expectation of what to look forward to while being in Sanditon.
That's why I need you, to keep my feet on the ground.
Come, Mr. Starling. Thank you, brother.
I'm not saying that to, like, you know, to be favored Ralph over Mr. Heybourne, but it's just in general, to me, that moment when she was saying that sarcastic comment and being a little bit playful with Ralph and say, oh, that's why you are here, to keep my feet on the ground. I thought that was like the first time for me that there was natural chemistry between the two. They had that chemistry where they know each other for so long and they are very easygoing with one another. And Charlotte didn't hesitate. She just like felt really comfortable with Ralph in front of everyone at the beach. So I thought that was a really sweet moment to see in the couple, if that makes sense. Because Ralph had been so hard on himself, trying to impress the others and trying to make himself look like he is worthy to be in Sanditon and that he is a great guy and that he can belong to this group in Sanditon, and he just like didn't have like a great moment in Sanditon just yet. And then this moment with Charlotte when she told him that statement, just like it felt home to him in that moment, if that makes sense, especially after what he experienced so far ever since he stepped his feet in Sanditon.
Miss Hayward, Miss Lamb's maid told us you were picnicking here.
We have something for her.
Oh.
Who think that this was like on purpose? Okay, to have something for Miss Lamb for her birthday, upcoming birthday party, like whatever that reason is, right? But on the other side of this mission that Augusta and Leonora are on, they wanted to see Charlotte again, and possibly to initiate that invitation process. So hopefully they will be able to get an invitation to Georgiana party, mostly for Mr. Heybourne, but who knows, maybe Augusta would tag along with her uncle.
Georgiana, you remember Miss Markham, and this is Miss Colburn.
Many happy returns on your birthday. We've brought you a present.
Thank you. We hope your party is a great success, Miss Lamb.
Leonora, there's something that I pay close attention. I don't know why, but I do focus on the small details as well. Leonora had been dressing up like a proper little girl in public, But throughout season 3, you will get to see that she switched back to the tomboy clothes from time to time. So her father is okay with that. I think he wouldn't mind if she does dress up as like a tomboy around the house for now. What a thoughtful gift, right? At the same time, they're not really that close to Miss Lamb, but we all know that there is a hidden secret mission behind that gift.
Forgive me. When I sent out the invitations, I thought you were in Bath. What a shame. I should have loved to attend more than anything.
Sneaky move by Augusta. I love it though. She is very clever. She's just like, oh, like I wish I can go. But at the same time, like try to like smooth it out. Like she doesn't want to look mad at Miss Lamb at the same time. She just like respectfully wish that she got the invitation in a nice way.
I'm sure one more guest wouldn't make too great a difference. Would it, Charlotte?
It's your party.
Miss Lamb, she's not a big fan of Ralph. I'm sure that she rather have her best friend Charlotte be with Mr. Heybourne. So she's not that stupid. Like I'm pretty sure that in her back of her mind, Georgiana thinking like, let me make some clever plans out of this. So she doesn't mind inviting Augusta. And Augusta is a close connection to Mr. Heybourne. Charlotte, on the other hand, she's like observing Augusta body language and the words coming out of her mouth. If I was Charlotte, I'd be like, Augusta is coming to the party. Does that mean Mr. Heybourne is coming to the party? Am I ready for this?
You are too kind, but I would require a chaperone, which would mean bringing my uncle. I fear that is too far.
That look on Charlotte's face says it all. Is she ready to run into Mr. Heybourne at the birthday party of her best friend Georgiana? Is she ready for that moment? Is she open to that idea? Augusta, like, it's so obvious by this point when she said, oh, I would need my uncle. It's definitely a confirmation that Augusta and Leonora brought this present to Miss Lamb as a excuse to get invited to Georgiana's birthday party.
Not at all. You both would be most welcome. Thank you so much.
On one side, Georgiana is returning the favor to Augusta after Augusta and Leonora brought her a birthday present. On the other side, Georgiana understands that by inviting Augusta and her uncle to her birthday party, she is, in a way, forcing Charlotte to face the reality that she will run into Mr. Heybourne at the party. And now the question is, will Mr. Heybourne attend the birthday party?
Well played, Mr. Starling.
You and the Duke of Buckinghamshire seem to be getting on rather famously, Georgiana.
I remain unconvinced of his charms.
Georgiana and Harry are playing at the moment. It's working well. They are getting along with each other by playing this fake pretend couple in front of everyone in public.
Well, you seem quite convinced from where I was sitting. Now, if I could see you become a Duchess, I would feel I had truly fulfilled my role as guardian.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves, Tom. We know nothing about him.
Tom would win the Adoptive Dad of the Year award if Georgiana does end up becoming a Duchess in a marriage with Harry. But Mary made a good point. We really don't know much about Harry so far just yet. So she is very cautious about Georgiana proceeding with Harry.
Suppose if nothing else, it would finally rid me of the fortune hunters. Shall we see if we cannot find some bigger shells for your necklaces?
I didn't realize another two guys were walking past them in the background of this scene. So those two men, like once again, another set of fortune hunters trying to find a way to get Georgiana attention. They are getting her attention, but in an annoying way. So hopefully if she does end up in marriage, whether it's with Harry or a different guy, it will be like the last bang. She would not have to deal with any fortune hunters for the rest of her life. This moment was a really nice moment in regard to the journey of Georgiana ever since the beginning of season 1 up to this point. It's kind of like a full circle moment in a way for her, because now she knows that her mom is possibly alive. There is a good chance that her mom is still alive, and she is on that search, that hunt to find her mom. Now we get to see Georgiana playing with the seashells and with those two Parker girls, and she told them about how her mom created a necklace for her, and there's like a close connection for Georgiana to her mom, even though she hasn't met her mom just yet. I did not expect this at all. I was like, what? Season 3 storyline. I don't want to spoil it for those who are watching the season for the first time right here on YouTube. I know most of us haven't watched season 3, especially those outside of the United States. Let me try to say it without spilling any details out of your respect. So I never read the articles. Like, I'm a type of a fan that try not to like read too much or see too many pictures of an upcoming season, because I like to be surprised. And there is this certain character in the show that I did not expect for that character to go through in season 3, especially after what happened in season 1 and 2. We will talk about that character down the road, but for now, yeah, this scene surprised me. And you notice that Georgiana is walking along the beach and she witnessing this moment happening between Harry and this other guy. This changed everything. Like, this changed her perspective, her impression on Harry. This is something that she did not expect at all. And yeah, now they know that they got caught. He is stepping out. Oh boy, that look of shame upon Harry's face. This is something that he is not comfortable in telling anyone. And now this makes me think of maybe that's why the Montrose family left Bath, England. So maybe Harry was the troublemaker, let's call it, and he stirred up some drama or some scandal in Bath, England that forced his family to move to Sanditon. And Georgiana is like the first one to find out about this, about Harry, outside of his family. This is something uncomfortable for Harry to discuss. This is something that he hides it very well until now.
Islam meant to invite us in the first place, but just assumed we were still in Bath.
The party is just hours away. I'm not convinced I can be good company at such short notice.
Augusta and Leonora are still on this undercover mission. Mr. Heybourne got a notice from Augusta that he was invited as well to Georgiana's birthday party. He made a good point. He's like, okay, what are these two girls up to? The party is just hours away. We just arrived back home. We are settling back in Sanditon.
Augusta has already accepted.
You should have consulted me first.
Funny how Leonora put Augusta in the hot seat, and Augusta's like, why do you say that? Like, that look on her face.
Well, I knew you would be keen on attending, since there will be so many prospective suitors there for me to meet.
But she quickly redeemed herself and try to convince her uncle, like, not only just a party, but it's a good party for Augusta to go to, just to see what the market looks like for single men. And hopefully her uncle would be open to that idea, that reason to go to that party.
How could we pass up such an opportunity?
It seems a rather sudden change of heart.
Perhaps. I have learned the error of my ways.
Mr. Heybourne, I just love his serious look toward Augusta. He's just like, it's that parent mode, like, okay, what she is up to. But when Augusta said that she learned the errors of my way, I don't know why, but I felt like that line, that statement is like something that Edward would say to his aunt, Lady Denham. The little details. I was amazed by Leonora taking off her gloves in a proper way, in a ladylike manner, before handing them off to the maid.
Miss Hayward will be there.
She expressed great hope in you attending.
Since you've already accepted, seems I have little choice.
The power of hearing Miss Hayward's name, or even Charlotte, like a mention of her name, it had the power over Mr. Heybourne in a way that he stopped walking in the scene. He just like froze for a few seconds. It showed that he still had feeling for Charlotte. What a way for Leonora to just add that in, like, oh, Charlotte will be there. Oh, right, of course, your dad would go because of Charlotte. The reaction on Mr. Heybourne's face, of course, he's like, it is another sign from the universe telling me that I should go for a second chance with Charlotte. Also, Augusta, she kind of like exaggerated a little bit when she said that Charlotte expressed great hope that Mr. Heybourne would be attending. Once again, they're gonna backfire later on when Mr. Heybourne went into Charlotte at the party. Charlotte is not on the same page so far. Like, as of now, she is not on the same page as Mr. Heybourne, because she is engaged technically to Ralph, and Mr. Heybourne doesn't know that yet. And then he confirmed, yes, that they should go to the party just because Augusta already accepted the invitation. But we all know, like, deep down inside his deep heart, that he has another reason to go because of Charlotte.
I called to ask if you might see your way to forgetting anything you may have observed on the beach today.
Harry was very embarrassed of Georgiana running into him with another guy, especially because of that, and also because he playing pretend with Georgiana, like they're pretending that they are interested in one another. So it's like a lot of emotion coming over Harry, and he freaking out, and that's why he went up to Georgiana and was honest with her. He's like, this is not what I expected to happen between you and I, but you did see me with another guy. And he was hoping, like, he's like begging her in this scene that she wouldn't say anything.
I saw nothing. Your Grace.
Thank you, Miss Lamb. As a duke, I must maintain certain appearances, you understand?
She gave him a lot of grace in this scene. She didn't want to harm him or hurt him in any way. She respected him as a duke and respected him as a possible new friend. That was like the first time she was really truly nice to him, because before that she gave him a hard time and didn't want to talk to him at all. But now this is a serious conversation.
All too well. However, I do have a proposition.
And Harry is starting to open up a little bit more about his life, circumstance that he is in right now. And I think this is like the most open that he has been to anyone outside of his family about this matter.
She has given me the great honor of accompanying her to her party and of opening the dancing with her.
Oh, my darling boy, that is balm to my soul.
Proud mama moment, mommy boy right there. So that was Georgiana's proposal to Harry after she encountered that moment earlier this episode. So instead of like making it worse for him, she is basically helping him to keep up with his appearances in public and in front of his family.
I knew she'd be unable to resist you once you'd set your mind to it. And as if that weren't enough good news, I believe I found you a match, Lydia.
It just showed that there's some understanding now between Harry and Georgiana, and she had this open grace and kindness to him. She feels compassion for him for what he's going through and the fact that he is hiding his secret from the public. We don't know if the family knows about it.
He's a wealthy widower, recently returned from Bath. He sounds quite perfect. His name is Alexander Colburn.
Any woman that get to marry Alexander Heybourne, like the way she do it, Alexander Heybourne, it will be a lucky woman, and we all hope that that will be Charlotte. My first thought of Lydia's reaction to her mom finding about Mr. Heybourne, she didn't seem that excited. She did have a boyfriend in the past, and the mom complained that her previous boyfriend wasn't suitable, so she might still be in love with that other guy. But now this is the beginning of Lydia and Alexander's storyline. I kind of like it though, because if Charlotte sees Alexander mingling with Lydia or any other single pretty woman in Sanditon, it might still have some jealousy in Charlotte. Like, you know, that good jealousy.
Do I pass muster?
You must be seen at your best tonight, sir. Life affords so few second chances.
As I'm all too aware.
Love this scene. Mr. Whitley is somewhat like a wing woman, like a sidekick to Alexander. She's like a second mom to him. She has really good wisdom, and she really cares for the family and cares about Alexander's happiness in his future, hopefully with Charlotte as his future wife. But what she said though is so true. It's becoming rare that life gives us second chances, right? And when it does, we have to seize that opportunity and take that second chance and just make it the most of it. And hopefully he will when he sees Charlotte tonight. Also, I want to mention his mindset right now in this moment. Remember in season 2, Lennox talked him down about pursuing Charlotte. He's like, oh, you're gonna make the same mistake like you did to your first wife. You're not gonna love Charlotte the best that you can. Like, he was talking negative to Alexander, and that put Alexander down, and that's one of the reasons why he quit on Charlotte by the end of season 2. He didn't feel confident enough, worthy enough to be Charlotte's boyfriend and eventually future husband. But right now in the scene with Mr. Whitley, he is ready to go. He's like, let's do this, like, let's face Charlotte, and hopefully she is still single and that we make it right with one another. He doesn't have any negative thoughts. His confidence is back, and I like to see that. It's nice to see that in this scene.
Well, Uncle, I'm ready. Are you?
as a proud uncle, I think he is very proud and fascinated of how grown up Augusta is and how she is very focused and interested in finding a good single man near her age, hopefully, to marry down the road. At the same time, he knows that there's a plan behind all of this just to for him to see Charlotte at the party. Mr. Whitley is happy for the both of them, not only for Augusta to be able to socialize with other people her age, but at the same time for Mr. Heybourne to get that second chance with Charlotte. The party, everyone. Charlotte is arriving with Ralph. Charlotte already knows what to expect, going to the fancy party, going to a ball. Ralph, this is the first time for him. Tom Parker is focused on getting more visitors, possibly more tenants in Sanditon. He is still on that marketing mind of attracting newcomers to the town. He is always business. Everything is business with him. And Mary trying to keep him grounded, tonight Georgiana and her birthday party, just let that slide and let her enjoy her life.
Charlotte, you look quite spectacular. I hope you realise how lucky you are, Mr. Starling.
Oh, I can't believe my good fortune. Although I can't say what use Charlotte will have for such finery in Willingdon.
Why did he say that? I felt like he was doing just fine, and then he made that remark, and I'm like, dude, you should have kept that to yourself. Lady Susan, trying to support this couple, she kept complimenting Charlotte and how lucky Ralph is to be engaged to Charlotte and to marry her in the near future. But we all know that, including Augusta, Leonora, Mr. Whitley, Lady Susan, even Georgiana, they all supporting Charlotte to be with Mr. Heybourne instead. But for now, they try to respect Charlotte and give her the space, the room to enjoy life with Ralph and just to let Charlotte decide on her future.
Yes, please.
I fear we find us.
Lady Susan, I'm out of here, give me a drink, let me walk away. That look, though, on Charlotte's face, I like to dive into the little details as usual. That look on Charlotte's face after Ralph said that about comparing Sanditon and Willingdon, I think Charlotte would miss the lifestyle of Sanditon if she ever leaves the town for good. If she does marry Ralph and move back to Willingdon for the rest of her life, I think she would miss the balls and the parties and the socialize with these people in Sanditon. I think she would miss it. She came to Sanditon with no expectation, and she grew in love with the town and the people that she knows in the town, Sanditon. So I think she would be really sad if she stop going to the balls and stop seeing the Parker family, because once you're married to a guy like Ralph, you have to be committed to him and to that different lifestyle, that farm lifestyle, and you basically lose Sanditon. She cannot go back to Sanditon once she married to Ralph, unless they visit from time to time, but she cannot miss Sanditon, you know what I mean? So if she rather be in Sanditon for the rest of her life, if she can find a man that is from here and get married in Sanditon and stay here, she would totally do that instead of going back to Willingdon with Ralph. Mr. and Miss Hankin at the party, you can see the costume, the outfit, it's very conservative. And they are much older than most of these people. Dr. Fuchs arrived. Ooh, Miss Hankin, googly eyes. Oh yeah, that smile. That scenery, living like that back in those days, that's a girl dream. Arthur did amazing, in my opinion. It looked very grand, very fancy, very top level, and that is Georgiana by definition. She is a rich lady now. She can do whatever she wants to do with her money, technically, even though Mary told her to be wise with the management of her money. But it seemed to be like the party of the year.
May I borrow your betrothed for a turn about the room, Mr. Starling?
By all means, my lady, as long as you return her to me.
Well, this is the first time he is at the type of parties, and this is the first time he is in Sanditon. So he's like, give back Charlotte to me as soon as possible, and Charlotte gave him that look like, you'll be fine, you'll be just fine.
What if Mr. Price decides not to come?
Patience, Tom. He'll be here. All will be well.
What a perfectly vulgar display. Inheriting a fortune seems to have robbed Miss Lamb of good taste and discretion.
Georgiana left the responsibility of planning the party to Arthur, so technically Lady Denham shouldn't blame entirely on Georgiana. It's funny how Mary and Tom were just talking about Mr. Price, and then Lady Denham came along right after and talking trash about Georgiana party right away. That's a typical Lady Denham.
I regret, mine lady, I shall be at a symposium in London next week, so we shall have to call a brief Zwischenspiel to Sir Edward's water treatment.
I'm surprised Edward accompanied his aunt to this party, kind of like a free night for him. But at the same time, he is still under the supervision of his aunt and now this doctor with them.
Oh, what a terrible shame.
Oh, I see no reason to pause. I'm perfectly capable of wielding a hose.
Lady Denham can do anything she wants to do, right? No matter what her age is. So no freedom for Edward away from the water treatment, no break. So that's a downside for him. Again, Lady Denham is very focused on punishing her nephew for the things he did in season 1 and 2.
Do you hope Mr. Colburn were here? Oh, it's an old dress, but yes, you look possible.
You must ration your compliments, Mother. You'll make me conceited.
Lydia seemed to be like a really cool lady to be fun with, but she is like under that captivity of her mom, just like her brother is right now. But him, like Harry, is a different situation. But with Lydia, she struggled because she cannot have the freedom to pick the man that she wants to marry. And now her mom is pressuring her to meet Mr. Heybourne at the party. Lydia is excited to go to the party. This is the first party that she is attending in Sanditon. She got to meet new people and just enjoy the big celebration.
The first time we met was at a party not entirely unlike this one.
I'd never felt so out of place.
Well, look how far you've come.
Such a bittersweet moment thinking about season 1 and how Charlotte met Sydney in season 1 and she met Lady Susan at a particular ball where Lady Susan encouraged Charlotte to follow her heart and follow love and just to go after Sydney and just give it a shot. And here we are in season 3 with a different guy. It's nice how when the show shows a good steady progress of a character development, character journey from the beginning to the end. And it's a beautiful story of Charlotte Heywood, and I enjoyed her character ever since the first minute of this show in season 1. Here we go. Oh yeah, here the was she first saw him. And it wasn't a bad look. She was actually intrigued to see him there, like interested. And then he sees her. Oh, Lady Susan. Oh, yep. She's picking up on it. Yep, he nodded at her. Oh yeah. Yep, a little smile right there.
Miss Hayward.
Lady de Clermont, may I introduce Mr. Colburn?
he was confident, he was happy to see Charlotte. Augusta was happy to see Charlotte too, because this is a good chance for her uncle and Charlotte to catch up. But once he said hi to Charlotte, Charlotte focus got twitched. She's like, okay, stop smiling. Let me introduce Lady Susan to Mr. Heybourne. But Lady Susan already knew before Charlotte introduced her to Mr. Heybourne. She already knew that there's something going on between Charlotte and this man. There is sparks flying between Charlotte and Alexander. And this is the answer that Lady Susan had been trying to get from Charlotte. Now she knows what Mr. Heybourne looks like. And she's like, he isn't a handsome man, and she's not surprised that Charlotte likes him in that way.
My lady.
And I've already had the pleasure of meeting Miss Markham.
How are you enjoying the party, my lady?
Augusta, she is still on that mission to get Charlotte and her uncle be alone together. Now this is like a huge goal accomplished for Augusta when she took Lady Susan away from Charlotte, and Charlotte like, oh boy, now I know what Augusta is up to.
You look exceptionally well, Miss Hayward.
Thank you. I assume Miss Markham persuaded you to come?
No, on the contrary, I came more than willingly.
Charlotte already knows that parties and balls are something that Mr. Heybourne is not a big fan of. He is not a big fan of dancing either. So that's why she's like, oh, you're here because of your niece. But he did say, though, he was honest to Charlotte. Like, he came because he wanted to see Charlotte. And also when he said that Charlotte looks exceptionally well, he meant, she looks beautiful.
I was hoping that we might have the chance to speak.
Lady de Clermont, would you be so kind as to introduce us? Can this be the famous Mr. Colburn?
Of course, the writers must throw in an optical in this scene. Alexander was about to say something. He really wanted to talk to Charlotte, and unfortunately, they got interrupted. But what a way to swing by. Lady Monroe's asking Lady Susan to introduce the Monroe's family to Mr. Heybourne.
An introduction seems rather redundant now, does it not?
Well, on the contrary, Mr. Colburn may not be aware that I am the Dowager Duchess, Lady Montrose. And this is my daughter, Lady Lydia.
At the same time, this is a good way for Charlotte to calm herself down and have a little break and get some fresh air after that intense conversation with Mr. Heybourne. Lady Susan really didn't want to introduce the Monroe family to Mr. Heybourne because she sees something special between Charlotte and Mr. Heybourne. She's a smart woman. She picked up on this thing pretty quickly. So she's like, no, don't let your daughter get in the way of Charlotte and Mr. Heybourne to be together. Lady Monroe's, she is on that mission of her own to get Lydia to be with Mr. Heybourne.
Lady Lydia.
Your Grace, Lady Lydia. My niece, Miss Markham, Miss Hayward.
How do you do, Miss Markham? A pleasure to see you again, Miss Hayward.
And you, Lady Lydia.
Very nice of Alexander to introduce himself properly and his niece and even Charlotte. Very nice of him to do that, even though Lady Lydia already knows Charlotte from before with Lady Susan in the promenade area earlier this episode. Charlotte, I think she is aware that Lady Monroe trying to get her daughter to be with Mr. Heybourne. Of course, the way that Lady Monroe and Lydia approached them, the mom trying to get Lydia to be with Alexander. Charlotte knows that Alexander is a very attractive man and he is single, so she is not surprised that Lydia and other single women will be trying to get Alexander attention for a possible future marriage. But on the other hand, Charlotte is already engaged, so she doesn't want to like cheat on Ralph. She doesn't want to cheat on Ralph emotionally and physically and all those aspects of a romantic relationship. So Charlotte, like, she did seem happy to see Alexander at the party, but at the same time she need to draw a line to protect herself and her relationship with Ralph, because she doesn't want to hurt Ralph. If anything, she should break up with him and be with Alexander, right? We'll see how the rest of the night goes at the party. We will finish the last 10-11 minutes of this episode in the next video. I hope you enjoyed it. Give a thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next one.